The office was a fortress of glass and steel, its sleek surfaces reflecting the ambitions of a man who had built an empire from nothing. Ethan Caldwell, CEO of Horizon Innovations, stood at the floor-to-ceiling window of his corner suite, gazing at the city skyline that bowed to his success. His tailored suit clung to his frame, a symbol of power, but beneath it, his heart was a stone, hardened by years of ruthless decisions and sleepless nights. He was untouchable, until a small, trembling voice pierced the silence of his world. "There's a camera in your office," the little boy whispered, his wide eyes darting nervously as he clutched a tattered backpack. Ethan turned, stunned, his mind racing. Who was this child? How had he slipped past security? And what did he mean by a camera? The words hung in the air like a storm cloud, heavy with secrets that would unravel everything Ethan thought he knew about his life, his company, and the cost of his ambition. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of truth to change lives, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Speaks. Your support helps us share stories that inspire and uplift, and we'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Now, let's dive into this heart-touching tale of redemption and discovery. Ethan's office was a shrine to his achievements. Mahogany shelves lined with awards, framed articles touting his genius, and a desk so polished it gleamed like a mirror. But as he stared at the boy, the room felt suddenly foreign, as if its grandeur mocked him. The child couldn't have been older than 8, his clothes worn and slightly too big, his sneakers scuffed and frayed at the toes. His face was pale, smudged with dirt, but his eyes were bright with a mix of fear and determination. Ethan's first instinct was to call security, to have this intruder removed, but something in the boy's expression stopped him. A raw, unguarded vulnerability that Ethan hadn't seen in years, not since he'd buried his own emotions under layers of corporate armor. "What's your name?" Ethan asked, his voice softer than he intended. The boy hesitated, then mumbled, "Tommy." Ethan crouched to his level, a gesture that felt awkward and unfamiliar. "Tommy, how did you get in here? And what's this about a camera?" Tommy's gaze flickered to the corner of the room, where a sleek black device was mounted discreetly near the ceiling. Ethan followed his eyes, and his stomach twisted. He'd never noticed it before. Was it part of the security system? Or something else entirely? Tommy's story spilled out in halting fragments, each word a pebble in the growing avalanche of Ethan's unease. Tommy's mother, Lila, had worked for Horizon Innovations until 6 months ago, when she was abruptly fired. She'd been a low-level data analyst, one of hundreds in the company's sprawling workforce, but to Tommy, she was everything: his protector, his storyteller, his home. After her termination, their lives had unraveled. Lila couldn't find work, their savings dwindled, and soon they were living out of a battered car parked in the shadows of the city. Tommy spoke of nights when his mother cried quietly, thinking he was asleep, and days when they shared a single meal to stretch their funds. Ethan listened, his chest tightening with a guilt he didn't yet understand. He hadn't known Lila personally, his company employed thousands, and he left personnel matters to his HR team. But Tommy's next words hit like a sledgehammer. "Mama said she found something bad at work," Tommy whispered. "Something they didn't want her to see. That's why they got rid of her. And that's why there's a camera in your office, to watch you, too." Ethan's mind reeled. A camera to watch him. The idea was absurd. He was the CEO, the architect of Horizon's success. Who would dare spy on him? Yet, as he studied the device in the corner, its unblinking lens seemed to pulse with malice. He stood, his legs unsteady, and crossed to his desk, where he pulled up the security system on his computer. His fingers flew over the keyboard, searching for the camera's feed, but there was no record of it in the company's network. It wasn't part of their system. A cold sweat prickled his skin. Someone had installed this device without his knowledge, and if Tommy was right, it was connected to whatever Lila had uncovered. Ethan's thoughts darkened. Horizon Innovations was a tech giant, specializing in AI and data solutions for governments and corporations. Its contracts were worth billions, and its inner workings were a labyrinth of proprietary code and classified projects. Had Lila stumbled onto something illegal? A breach? Or worse, had Ethan's own ambition blinded him to corruption within his ranks? Determined to uncover the truth, Ethan decided to act. He couldn't trust his security team, not yet. Instead, he took Tommy's small hand and led him out of the office, ignoring the curious stares of his staff. They took the private elevator to the basement, where Ethan kept a spare laptop unconnected to the company network. As they sat in the dim glow of the screen, Tommy recounted more details. Lila had been working on a project called Sentinel, a surveillance algorithm designed for a government client. She'd noticed anomalies, data being siphoned to an offshore server, hidden transactions that didn't add up. When she raised concerns, her supervisor dismissed her, and days later, she was fired for performance issues. Tommy's voice trembled as he spoke of his mother's fear, how she'd warned him to stay quiet, to trust no one. Ethan's heart ached for the boy, but a deeper dread was taking root. If Lila's findings were true, Horizon was involved in something far bigger, and far darker, than he'd imagined. Over the next few hours, Ethan hacked into the company's secure servers, using backdoors he'd built years ago when he was still a coder with dreams of changing the world. What he found chilled him to the core. Sentinel wasn't just a surveillance tool. It was a weapon, designed to monitor citizens without oversight, its data funneled to unknown parties for profit. Millions of dollars were being laundered through shell companies, and the trail led to Ethan's own board of directors. His trusted advisors, men and women he'd known for years, had betrayed him, using his company as a front for the greed. The camera in his office was their failsafe, ensuring he remained oblivious while they pulled the strings. Ethan's hands shook as he downloaded the evidence onto a flash drive. He was innocent, he'd made tough calls, cut corners, and prioritized profit over principle more times than he could count. But this was a violation of everything he'd once believed in. As dawn broke over the city, Ethan faced a choice. He could destroy the evidence, protect his legacy, and continue living in the gilded cage of his success. Or he could expose the truth, risking his company, his reputation, and his freedom. Tommy's presence beside him, curled up asleep on a chair, made the decision clear. This boy had lost everything because of Ethan's ignorance, and Ethan couldn't let that loss be in vain. He woke Tommy gently and promised to find his mother. Using the company's HR records, Ethan tracked Lila to a homeless shelter on the city's outskirts. When they arrived, the sight of her broke Ethan's heart. Lila was thin, her face etched with exhaustion, but her eyes lit up when she saw Tommy. Their reunion was a quiet, tearful embrace, and Ethan stood back, feeling like an intruder in their world of love and resilience. Lila's story confirmed Tommy's. She'd been silenced, threatened, and cast out for daring to question the company's actions. Ethan apologized, his voice thick with shame, and showed her the flash drive. He explained his plan, to go public with the evidence, to dismantle the corruption within Horizon, and to make amends for the lives he'd unknowingly destroyed. Lila was wary, her trust in powerful men shattered, but she saw the sincerity in Ethan's eyes and nodded. Together, they contacted a journalist known for exposing corporate scandals. The story broke within days, a tidal wave of headlines that rocked the tech world. Horizon's stock plummeted, and Ethan's board was arrested, their schemes laid bare. Ethan himself faced scrutiny, his role as CEO questioned, but he cooperated fully, accepting whatever consequences came his way. In the weeks that followed, Ethan stepped down from Horizon, passing the reins to a new leader committed to transparency. He sold his penthouse and most of his assets, funneling the money into a foundation to support whistleblowers and families like Lila's. He visited Tommy and Lila often, helping them settle into a small apartment and ensuring Tommy could return to school. The boys' laughter, once so rare, became a sound Ethan cherished, a reminder of why he'd chosen this path. The camera in his office was gone, but its memory lingered, a symbol of the vigilance he now carried. Ethan was no longer the untouchable CEO, he was a man learning to live with his flaws, to rebuild trust, and to find purpose in acts of quiet kindness. As the sun set over the city, Ethan stood outside Lila's apartment, watching Tommy kick a soccer ball in the courtyard. The weight of his past still pressed on him, but it was lighter now, softened by the knowledge that he'd done something right. He wasn't a hero, heroes didn't let things get this far, but he was trying, and that was enough. The world was messy, full of shadows and second chances, and Ethan was learning to navigate it with an open heart. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you of the power of truth and the beauty of redemption, please like, comment, and share this video. Subscribe to Kindness Speaks to join us in spreading stories that inspire hope and change. Your support means the world, and we'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Before we end, a special request, please share one word in the comments that this story made you feel. Whether it's hope, love, or courage, let us know. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep kindness in your heart.